then in the steel, like we're working in the steel mine. No. Hi friends, welcome to Happy Adorning. This is the place where we feature real women doing rad stuff. This week we have Robin Roemer with us. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. Robin is a super talented photographer, DP, and producer, and we hope to find out a bit more about her today. You may recognize her as the photographer who has done some of Grace Helbig's work. We have a lot of Grace fans.
Yeah, of
Woo,
course.
we love Grace. In fact, I brought this out because was this the first book? Yeah, because this is Grace's first book,
yeah,
right?
this was the first full book that I did too, and now I've been doing a little more books where it's, there are pictures inside of the book as well as on the cover, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and this is a fun one. So I introduced you as a DP. Let's explain what that is in case some people don't know.
Yeah, DP is director of photography in this case.
Yes.
Which means video and not still photography. I've been doing that the past 2 years. I've been sort of doing a little bit more video as well, so it's been fun.
Is there anything recently that you want to talk about that you're working on?
I just shot an indie feature, which it was a film that a friend of mine wrote called Suicide Kale.
Kale.
Yeah, it's a really cool film. It's actually, the cast is all women, and the cast was all queer women, which is cool.
Nice.
And then 3 of the 4 women were also women of color, so it was very sort of diverse. The movie actually isn't really specifically about their identities, but what's cool about it is that it is, very rarely do we see a film with all women in the cast.
Right,
Things
absolutely.
Like that. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
In the still world for photography, what have you been working on there?
A couple books, a couple shows, and some comedy stuff. I really love taking pictures of comedians and comics, so I'm working on a project right now with female comedians, so that's been very exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get connected with Grace and Hannah and those people?
So I actually met Hannah at a UCB show in New York.
Okay.
We had mutual friends that were in a comedy improv team there, and so we met and we became friends in New York a while back when she had first started. So then when I moved out here, already knew Hannah, and we sort of started working on projects together, and that's how I met Grace and a lot of other amazing YouTube new media people.
Grace's book is out, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the process and how that all happens? Do you actually do the creative direction on that and whatnot?
It's more of a collaboration, I would say. It's a lot of sort of Grace sort of telling us what the book's about and the different chapters and outlining it, and then working with an art director to sort of come up with different concepts and kind of just go for it. Grace is so easy to work with that it's just sort of do whatever you want. And you can just kind of play, and that's what it feels like. I mean, we shot, this book was 4 days plus the cover, so it was 5 days total. And I think there were 180 images in the book or something like that. Crazy.
That's a lot.
So we just played.
The project that you're working on with Hannah, what is that about?
I've been co-producing Have a Heart Day, which is a web series about volunteerism and philanthropy. It's really just to highlight her community and how amazing they've been, to highlight different organizations that we feel are doing good. And it's a partnership with Subaru, so they've really allowed us.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they've allowed us to sort of do a lot of these cool events. Every month we highlight a new organization. It's just really to highlight all the different ways you can volunteer that are fun, that are things that you're maybe interested in that you don't know that are out there that you can sort of get involved in and really do some good.
I was actually reading an interview that you did with Autostraddle. You were talking about how when you were 5 years old, you were taking photographs of things already. Yeah. So you kind of knew early on.
I did. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I feel like I used to do this thing where my mother would tell me to clean my room, and instead of cleaning my room, I would go make these elaborate setups. She'd walk into my room and she'd be like, "You didn't clean." I'd be like, No, look. Let me show you what's going on. And I would just create these sort of tableau like scenarios, and then I photograph them with like, we just had disposable cameras.
Sure.
So I have like these weird pictures of like my stuffed animals set up in weird ways when I was kind of a weird kid, but.
I love that though. That's awesome. In your life, are there any women that have been a really big influence on who you are?
Damn, there are so many people.
Thank you to all the amazing women out
there. I know, there are just so many people. I have to say number one, I have to say my wife, because she's like the most supportive person that I've really ever had a relationship with. You know, every few months I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, I need to do something else with my life, you know? And she's just like the most supportive person. She's also really inspiring because she's always sort of coming up with ideas and being like, let's do it. Like, let's just do it. Let's, you know, go for it.
If it's Friday night, you have nothing to do, you have no plans the next day, how do you use your free time?
I see a lot of comedy shows. I go to a lot of like comedy shows, which has been really fun. Our best friends live next door, so we hang out with them quite a bit.
Oh my gosh, that's so convenient.
Yeah, it's really great.
So if you could give advice to young girls that maybe want to become photographers or want to get into a creative field, what would that be?
I would say don't sell yourself short. The big problem I think with young photographers today is that they're not like putting enough value on their work. And if we continue to do that, there will no longer be a career called photographer.
Sure.
So if you're putting money and, you know, education and all of this stuff into your profession, you need to put value on that because you have specific skills that people need. You have to just keep putting value on yourself and setting yourself apart from other people by shooting what you love, doing what you like the most.
So is there anything in the future that we should be looking out for your work, things you've got going on?
I'm doing a project right now with female comedians, which I'll put online at some point.
Okay.
But that's been really fun. So that's kind of my next like personal project.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's exciting. Where can we find you on social media and whatnot?
So I'm at Robin Shoots in most places. So on Twitter, on Snapchat, and on Instagram, especially at Robin Shoots.
At Robin Shoots. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you coming and giving us your time and telling us a little bit about this.
You're
I think
so welcome.
Your profession is super important. I hope that people really, you know, value it and get into it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.